In this training video, we are going to do a refresher of our Scott Health and Safety Model 75 air pack. All of the air packs in our department are the exact same packs with the exact same features. So there's no difference between our air packs that could confuse the wearer as they respond to an incident or use it during training. Prior to using the air pack, the firefighter should ensure that all the straps are fully extended and that the cylinder is showing over 4,000 psi. The wearer should also ensure that there is no obvious damage or missing parts on the air pack. When the firefighter dons the pack, he should be sure to secure both shoulder straps as well as the waist belt when wearing the SCBA. Before turning on the air cylinder, the firefighter should check the regulator and make sure that the air saver switch on top has been depressed and that the purge valve is closed, so when the operator turns on the cylinder, there's no air that escapes. The operator should slowly turn on the cylinder by pushing in the valve and turning it counterclockwise. When they do that, a couple of different things are going to happen. The VibraAlert feature on the regulator is going to sound, as well as the pass device is going to arm. Also on the regulator is the heads-up display. All 5 lights on the display are going to illuminate for approximately 20 seconds to indicate the cylinder level. On the heads-up display with those cylinders, if there's 2 green lights, that indicates that the air pack cylinder is full. When there's a single green light, it indicates that it is at 3/4 full. A single yellow flashing light indicates that the pack cylinder is at 1/2. And a red light flashing rapidly indicates that the pack is 1/4 full. The 5th round LED light that is red indicates a low battery if it is illuminated. The pass device on the air pack, which we have heard chirping a couple of times, automatically activates when the air pack is turned on to ensure that it is operational at all times. The operator might be on air. When in automatic mode, the pass device is going to enter a pre-alarm when no motion is sensed for approximately 20 seconds. After an additional 12 seconds, the pass device goes into full alarm. When it goes into that pre-alarm, the wearer can either push the yellow button on the side of the gauge display once to reset it, or they can just shake their hips to reset the motion sensor that it is in the hip area of the air pack. Once that air pack does go into full alarm, the only way to silence it is to push the yellow button on the side twice. You cannot just shake the pass device or the air pack to reset it. A reminder for all of our firefighters, do not turn on the air cylinder when you're in the apparatus. You can't really move around. You're going to have the pass device going into that pre-alarm. It's going to be distracting for the other firefighters in the truck, as well as the driver and operator as they communicate with each other and on the radio. As the firefighters come off the truck and they turn the air cylinder on, when they're ready to go inside, they can take their regulator once they have their mask on, ensure that the regulator's at 12 o'clock, the purge valve is at 12 o'clock, and rotate it till it clicks into place and the wearer can start breathing. The air pack is first breath activated, so when they take that first breath, they are automatically going to be getting an air supply into their mask. When the firefighter is ready to leave the contaminated area, they exit the building. They can then depress the air saver switch on top of the regulator, operate the thumb switch on the side, rotate counterclockwise, and remove the regulator from the mask to go back to breathing regular air outside. When the firefighter is all done with wearing the air pack, they can again take the regulator out, ensure that they're outside in a safe environment. They're going to push in the valve on the cylinder and rotate it clockwise until it is fully closed. Once the bottle is fully closed, the operator can take the purge valve, rotate it wide open to purge the remaining air that's still in the system, ensuring that the gauge on the shoulder strap goes down to empty to ensure all the air is out. When you're all done, the last thing you have to do is turn off the pass device, and to do that, push the yellow button twice. The device will beep twice, indicating that the air pack is completely off. Once they are done, the operator can change the cylinder as needed. To do that, again, we ensure that the air pack is completely off by turning the cylinder off, purging all air, and turning off the pass device. If the cylinder is under 4,000 psi, the cylinder should be changed with a full one. To do that, you can open up the retention strap on the side of the, or on top of the air pack, and loosen the high pressure hose fitting that connects to the cylinder. With that out of the way, depress the button on the underside of the air pack, and the cylinder can be slid out, and then a fresh full cylinder inserted into the pack. You'll click into place, line up the high pressure hose, and screw it onto the threads of the cylinder. This should only be done hand tight. We do not need to over tighten that cylinder, which could damage the threads as well as the O-ring that's inside. We can then attach the retention strap to keep the cylinder in place, and now the air pack is ready for its next use. Now that we've covered the basic operation of the air pack, we'll talk about a couple of the other features of the system. In the event that the VibraAlert alarm activates, that is there to indicate that the cylinder is at 25% remaining capacity. All of the cylinders that we operate on all of our air packs are rated at 1 hour of breathing air. So when you get down to 25%, you're at a quarter of your remaining air supply. That indicates that the firefighter must leave the structure at that point, but they should really be monitoring their air supply throughout the duration of use of the air pack to give them enough time to get out without relying on that VibraAlert feature that's in the regulator. There are several different types of emergencies that we can encounter when wearing an air pack. The air pack could fail, we could lose the air supply, one of the air lines could be cut. So as such, our members need to be prepared to deal with those emergencies once they come up. In the event that the air supply is partially or completely cut off, the first thing we should do is check the cylinder, make sure that the cylinder is on completely, that we didn't actually not turn it on all the way, or maybe we bumped into something and partially closed it as the wearer was using the air pack. You also want to make sure that you check the purge valve. If you're not getting enough air, you can open up the purge valve, crack it a little bit, and give yourself some additional air supply if there is still air left in the cylinder. Whenever an emergency occurs with the air pack, the operator must notify the rest of his crew and get out of the structure as quickly as possible. If it's something where there is a complete loss of air, then a mayday should be declared over the radio, and the entire crew should exit as quickly as possible. All of our air packs are equipped with an emergency buddy breathing system. It is on the hose for the regulator that is on the air pack. The firefighter can push in on the fitting, pull the collar back, and they can disconnect that regulator from the air pack. They have to keep in mind that as soon as that is done, there's a complete loss of air going into the regulator. The last thing the firefighter wants to do if he's in a contaminated atmosphere is remove that regulator from his mask, because he will be breathing in contaminated air. The firefighter can communicate with the rest of his crew or another firefighter, remove the pigtail that's on the left hip area, take off the boot that protects the threads, and connect in to that pigtail on a fellow firefighter's air pack, thereby allowing both firefighters to breathe off of the one cylinder. Again, keeping in mind that this is an emergency situation, this can be done hopefully as quickly as possible, but once that is done, the firefighters need to exit the structure immediately. When you make that connection, you got to keep in mind also that the electrical connection for the heads-up display has been disconnected. So when you do make that connection to a different air pack, the heads-up display is going to go out. The last feature of our air packs that we will talk about is what's called the universal air connection. That is a separate fitting that is on the high pressure hose that gets attached to the cylinder, and this is designed to allow a rapid intervention crew, also known as a FAST team, to bring in an air supply into a structure to provide air to a firefighter that is down. We will cover that universal air connection in more depth when we review the RIT pack that we carry on Tower 201. But in a nutshell, the firefighter will remove the boot on that connection, one of the RIT firefighters, take the protective boot off, expose that fitting. They can then take the high pressure hose from the RIT pack, tie it into that fitting, and they will equalize the pressure in the two cylinders. Again, that is intended specifically for a firefighter that may be down. Again, this training video is to serve as a refresher on the operation of our Scott AirPack 75 air packs. It is not meant to take the place of actual hands-on training using the air pack. It is extremely important for all of our firefighters to have a very thorough knowledge of all the features and function of this air pack, to be sure they can use it safely in IDOH situations and know how to react in the event of a failure of the air pack. Thank you for watching.